Hello everyone and welcome to today's session. My name is Vikas Omar. I'm a specialist solutions architect with data and analytics team at AWS. In this age of Industry 4.0, we all know that knowing about your customer is key for any business endeavor. And I have been helping customers build and realize the benefits of customer 360-degree view for over a decade now, especially in telco domain. And not just customer 360, but some of other key business entities as well. For example, location 360, product 360, service 360, and device 360. In my capacity with AWS for the past 2 years, I have had the chance to work with customers from various industries and help them build customer intelligence platforms and Customer 360 on AWS. In this session on driving business outcomes with Customer 360 at scale on AWS, I have planned to cover importance of Customer 360, its challenges, benefits, and risk of a fractured customer view. We'll hear from Globe Telecom on their journey of building the Customer 360 on AWS. We'll look at building blocks of a Customer 360 platform on AWS. And finally, we'll wrap the session with key best practices and journey of building the Customer 360. Let me start by sharing a personal experience. I'm sure most of you have heard about Bali. It's a lovely place in Indonesia. You must visit there someday if you haven't already. So I was there with my family a few years ago and was amazed by the level of experience provided by the day tour agency we booked. Almost everything that happened to us was like they were reading our minds. I was curious, how come they understand our preferences so well? They told us, we are in this business for many years now and make extensive use of online and offline feedback provided by our customers to understand what they like and what they don't. Isn't it amazing? When such small businesses can make use of knowledge about their customers to uplift their experience, and note, I'm referring at a knowledge base, not just a database. Imagine the world of possibilities, what you can do when you create this knowledge base at a substantial scale. For example, Thrive Market, a high-growth membership-based e-commerce company based in California that sells organic food and beauty products, deployed a highly scalable platform on AWS that helped the company go from $0 to $100 million in revenues in 14 months, while obtaining a 360-degree view of their customers on Amazon Redshift. This Customer 360 is refreshed on an hourly basis using data from a variety of data sources, giving them this performance and agility they were looking for. Now with democratization of technology, customers are getting smarter day by day. They have a ton of information at their fingertips. You know how things can change overnight with just a trending hashtag. It is important for businesses to focus on their customers now more than ever. Customer obsession isn't an option, it's an imperative. And data is the core behind every business and every decision. According to Gartner research, less than 10% of companies have 360 view of their customers and only 5% use that view systematically to grow their business. The use of data by organizations to improve the efficiency of their operations and drive innovation is nothing new, but being data-driven is becoming increasingly challenging with the need to focus on first-party data with its overwhelming volumes and additional privacy regulations. Behaviors are changing, making more first-party data generated. Look at the shift towards digital during the pandemic, whooping 57% jump between December 2019 and July 2020, according to a report by McKinsey. Leading enterprises are continuously moving the management of their first-party data in-house because it represents a competitive advantage. With customer expectations continuing to rise, companies face a gap between their need to use of their data to meet customer expectations and their current data management practices' ability to deliver. So how can companies close this gap? The best-in-class businesses recognize that they must work towards taking back the ownership of their data to harness the power of their customers and prospect information in order to compete and win on customer experience. According to a report by Forrester, 73% of leaders and 48% of laggards have brought data management in-house to break down these barriers, with many more planning to move data in-house in the future. That being said, let's look at some of the common challenges in building a Customer 360 view. First one is disparate data sources. These often store overlapping and conflicting information about a customer, be it across lines of businesses, across channels, or across business functions. Next one is proliferation of data. Data is growing rapidly. New channels open and create new opportunities to interact and transact with new data to manage, match, and merge into Customer 360. Consumers are engaging with businesses in new ways. .com, emails, web chats, social media, review sites, and more, generating 2.5 quintillion bytes of data every day. And it's not just about collecting tons of data across multiple source systems. Insights must be actionable. There are several factors that affect actionability. Two common ones are recency bias and lack of accurate customer data. Next is confidently resolving identities. Whether anonymous data or known data, a customer's identity varies across systems. For example, order management system versus billing systems versus e-commerce site. And as we all know, with great powers comes great responsibilities. A solid governance framework around personally identifiable information, PII, and first party data is of utmost importance, especially when you are building a customer 360 at scale. And finally, lack of technology expertise. It's like a dent on productivity for organizations that aspire to innovate faster. Having a customer 360 is great, but what if it's not accurate and trusted? There are risks associated with a fractured customer 360 view. By having incomplete, inaccurate, and siloed data, companies are not able to utilize their data in a way that supports their top goals, winning new businesses and growing revenue. It impacts both their top line and the bottom line. Some of the risks include misguided business decisions and strategies. Level of engagement is not within your customer expectations. Redundant technology investments for storing similar customer data. Same data, different metrics. Compliance, governance, and inability to scale customer experience related projects. We have discussed challenges of building a customer 360 and risks associated with a fractured customer view. Now let's take a look at some of the benefits of a trusted customer 360. The first one is definitely the customer satisfaction. Customer 360 can positively change the dynamics of engagement with your customer that ultimately results in improved satisfaction and loyalty. Be it personalization around offers and promotions, rewards and loyalty program, customer intimacy, or proactive care and service recovery. The next one is around innovation and agility. A sound customer 360 let companies understand what their customers are looking for so that they can innovate faster and accelerate time to market of new products and services. The third one is that you gain competitive advantage. You know your customers and make informed decisions based on the data. One example is identifying and resolving churn drivers. Boost both top line and the bottom line by increasing revenue and reducing operating costs. For example, companies can empower their frontline agents with just enough information from Customer 360 to handle customer calls efficiently. This improves call resolution, reduce call holding time, and overall case handling time. Finally, with the connected Customer 360, reduce risk of fraud through confidently knowing the customer's identity. Let's quickly look at some of the features that you can expect with Customer 360. It allows unification of data and presents a holistic view across multiple customer touchpoints, profiling, segmentation, and micro-segmentation. It also enables predictive and prescriptive use cases, right-time customer engagement, omni-channel, and orchestrated decisions. Now let's hear from the Vice President of Enterprise Data Office at Globe Telecom, the largest mobile network operator in the Philippines. He is leading Globe Telecom's data transformation journey from the front and is here to share with us how they are using Customer 360 built on AWS as a key enabler to drive business outcomes for their 90 million subscribers. Everyone, please welcome Dan Noel Natindem.
Thank you, Vikas. I'm glad to be here to share a few thoughts on how we are using data and analytics to serve our customers better at Globe Telecom. To share a little about myself, I am a technologist by background. I am responsible for the end-to-end data value chain, from platform management, data governance, data engineering, BI, advanced analytics, and data innovations, ensuring we harvest value from data. Allow me to share a little bit about who we are. Globe Telecom is the leading digital provider in the Philippines. We are going beyond being a telco provider to be a purveyor of the Filipino digital lifestyle. We brought in content partners, we elevated online entertainment, enabled businesses with a suite of solutions, and even offering fintech and health services. From bringing Facebook and Spotify years ago, to bringing in NBA, Disney, Prime Video, Netflix, and enabling businesses and consumers to thrive on with e-commerce during the pandemic. Globe is part owner of GCash, the leading mobile wallet in the Philippines, with 33 million users and over 1 trillion pesos in transaction since the pandemic. This has allowed businesses to continue and consumers to thrive on while being on extended lockdown. We've also started to produce our own content. We have our own lifestyle apparel brand and also have a venture capital and venture building company to help entrepreneurs realize their dreams. As you can see, we have a lot to offer. And like AWS, our core value of putting customers first has led to our success over the years. We want to open possibilities so families' dreams come true and businesses flourish. At Globe, the Enterprise Data Office was established to harvest strategic value from the data available in the organization. The mandate was really easy: enable the organization to have intelligence whenever they want, disrupt to enrich the lifestyle of customers, and enable all groups within the company to be data-driven. But becoming data-driven is not easy. One of the first things we dealt with was getting data that is reliable and getting the various business groups to trust data. This was the first step to moving to be data-driven. From siloed data, we brought all relevant and usable data in one place. Sponsorship and data governance had to be established at the onset to achieve data quality. In a diverse organization with many different business units as data owners, each unit will have their own priorities and data literacy. And it's important to be able to bring everyone to the same level of standards. It's important to transition quickly from doing data cleanup. As you know, many companies first do data cleanup to being able to proactively own and manage data. Choosing the right technology that can deal with a variety of data is also key. Given the plethora of tools available, one needs to choose tools that are fit for their ecosystem, fit for their own size, their scale, and even their technical expertise. Deciding what architecture to have, whether it's a Lambda, Kappa, streaming, or unified architecture, to technologies to use, whether packaged or open source, requires the right talent, requires room for experimentation, and a deliberate strategy. It's also important to think of who will consume the data. We need to recognize the different personas of data users. In our case, we democratized data to different groups, but there was a struggle to make productive use of the data. Many users simply lacked the technical skills. This led us to accelerate consumption of data through self-service and also have this concept of a minimum viable data, or MVD. Now, what is an MVD? Having an MVD doesn't mean you don't go through your big data journey, but rather you go through it so you can harvest the full context across the different areas of the organization, and then curate all of this big data to an MVD that is meaningful and easier to use. As you know, the reward for good data is more questions and more insighting coming from all the individual users. At Globe, it's not just about having a few teams that are advanced and mature in data and analytics, but how we elevate the rest of the enterprise to be data-driven. We believe every job function can be enhanced with data and analytics. We have an active data and analytics community of practice with membership of 700 people from within the company. We sponsor big data meetup events for practitioners in the Philippines. We also had an AWS Deep Racer League within Globe, a fun, cool event, and even represented the Philippines in the ASEAN League. And we actually won third place on our first attempt. I must say, our customers are at the heart of everything we do. And for that, it is of utmost importance to understand them. First, we have to recognize the need to know the customer holistically. And customer behavior is complex. I am amazed with SpaceX's recent milestones in space, including the recent Perseverance landing on Mars. A state vector in navigation is a set of data that tells exactly where an object is and how it is moving. It is similar for customers. Customers have many dimensions, such as customer engagement, digital maturity, interests, customer lifetime value, affinity to mobile apps, propensity for products, satisfaction of a service, economic state, personal state, mobility, and so on. And each of these are moving at its own pace. Each of these factors indicate what the needs are of the customer. Second, customer behavior is always changing, especially with the pandemic and the uncertain times. The customer that we know now, using yesterday's historical data, may no longer be the customer of tomorrow. Attributes vary in importance and should be refreshed at relevant cycles. A customer 360 gets attuned to the needs of customers, and that is further magnified by the pandemic. Where there is limited interaction, human interaction that is, AI can be leveraged as a substitute. For insights, customer profiles can be factual, derived, or inferred. In our case, we are using machine learning to understand customer experience more. As an example, we are able to predict Net Promoter Score. For one of our customer segments, where we've taken deliberate actions to improve customer experience, we gained plus 40 percentage points and our highest ever NPS at the height of the pandemic. It is important to think about how your customer 360 will also be used. If used by humans, are the users technical or non-technical? Have a way for different user personas to use your customer 360, even for non-technical people. I think we all know there are many ways to use modern technology to simplify consumption of complex data. For a customer 360 to be deployed on your systems and making customer impact on a day-to-day basis, it has to be used by machines. And deployment and operationalization need to be planned upfront. If used by machines, you have to ask, is your customer 360 real-time? Is it integrated with your frontline systems? Can it support data in motion and make actions at the right speed? In our case, during the pandemic and using credit scores, we've been able to extend airtime loans as a means of help for customers to help them cope with the times. For them to have connectivity to continue to work or attend online class and just get by without having to pay for data outright. This is using customer 360 data in motion. In the end, having a customer 360 platform has led to contextual, meaningful, real-time actions for customers, growth in revenue and customer engagement, and user groups becoming more insightful and customer-centric. At Globe Telecom, we have a version of a customer 360 that uses AWS solutions implemented through their consulting partner, the data team. AWS and its partner, the data team, have been extremely supportive during our journey. And we have a lot more to go, a lot more innovations coming along. Thank you, everyone, and I will turn you over back to Vikas.
Thank you, Dan, for sharing with us. That was very insightful. Moving on, let's look at building a Customer 360 on AWS. A Customer 360 stack is comprised of 4 key layers: data collection, data storage, data analysis, and activation layer. Starting from data collection, it involves collecting data from multiple siloed data sources in structured, semi-structured, and unstructured formats. Storage layer involves security and access controls, metadata management, identity resolution, unified customer profile, and privacy and marketing compliance that helps companies comply with data privacy regulations. Analyze layer involves personalization engines, a connected customer engine that combines operational data with semantic data, and federated query powered by AWS Lakehouse architectural pattern. We'll take a closer look at Lakehouse architecture on AWS in a few slides from now. Finally, activation layer to drive a wide variety of use cases on top of Customer 360. And note, these are not just marketing use cases. For example, accelerate issue resolution and proactive customer support are the use cases that are generally owned by customer care or customer experience team. Let's double click on this and see how these layers are stacked against purpose-built AWS services that you can pick and choose as per your data landscape and use cases. We have all the different forms of data sources at the bottom layer. In ingestion at scale layer, you have services that support both batch and real-time data ingestion like Amazon Kinesis, Amazon Managed Streaming for Kafka, AWS Data Sync, AWS Storage Gateway, among many others. When it comes to identity resolution, oftentimes the correlation between two data sources is not direct, and you might want to do some transformation using ETL services like Amazon EMR and AWS Glue, or use graph-based technologies like Amazon Neptune to identify hidden and unobvious connections, or take help of machine learning models using Amazon SageMaker to do the probabilistic correlation. Depending upon the use case, you can choose one or more data stores for your Customer 360. For example, Amazon Elasticsearch, which is a fully managed service that makes it easy for you to deploy, secure, and run Elasticsearch cost-effectively at scale. It can be a good choice for storing real-time, direct, and computed data points about your customer or key entities in the business for very user-friendly searches and dashboarding. Amazon DynamoDB, a key value and document database that delivers single-digit millisecond performance at any scale. It can be a good choice for storing golden customer or key business entity records that can be bidirectionally accessed by downstream applications with single-digit millisecond latency. Amazon Redshift, cloud data warehouse that makes it fast, simple, and cost-effective to analyze petabytes and exabytes of data using standard SQL and your business intelligence tools. It can be a good choice when you need complex and high-performance multi-dimensional slicing and dicing of data. Amazon S3, an object storage service that offers industry-leading scalability, data availability, security, and performance, and it's an excellent choice of building your data lakes. For pipeline orchestrations, you have services like AWS Step Functions and Amazon Managed Workflows for Apache Airflow. You have ML and AI services like Amazon SageMaker, Amazon Comprehend, Amazon Personalize, and many more to build recommendations, propensity, and behavioral models to enrich Customer 360. At activation layer, you have API and event-based activation service that can enable two-way interaction between your Customer 360 and customer-facing applications, or digitally engage your customers through multiple channels using Amazon Pinpoint, or visualize insights using Amazon QuickSight. Let me quickly walk you through the Lakehouse architecture on AWS. It starts with Amazon S3. Customers have been building data lakes on S3 longer than any other cloud provider, and today, more data lakes run on AWS than anywhere else, and using Athena, an interactive query service to analyze all their data. In addition to the data lake, customers use a combination of our purpose-built databases and analytics services like EMR, Amazon Elasticsearch Service, and Redshift to ensure that they are using the right tool for the job to get the performance and scale at the lowest possible cost. To move their data between these systems, they use AWS Glue, our serverless data integration service. And finally, they use AWS Lake Formation to manage the security and governance of all their data, regardless of whether it sits in the data lake or in purpose-built data stores. And in all of these cases, we have invested heavily in offering the best price per performance out there. Now, visualization of insights and recommendations from a Customer 360 is one of the key activation methods and a good way to democratize it. Let me quickly give you a glimpse of a retail banking Customer 360 dashboard. On this dashboard, you can see information from several data sources that has been stitched together to provide a holistic view about the customer with the ability to deep dive if required. It has key pieces of information with respect to demographics, assets, liabilities, rewards and loyalty, overall engagement, communication preferences, orders, transactions, anomalies, customer cases, and recommendations. This view is built using Amazon QuickSight with Amazon Redshift, Data Lake on Amazon S3, and Amazon Elasticsearch as data stores. What if you have your own unified portal or application that you want to publish insights there? This is where Amazon QuickSight makes a difference. As a cloud-native serverless BI service, QuickSight provides seamless embedded analytics for users. You can enable deeper insights from data, whether via self-service data exploration options or machine learning options. As a cloud-native service, QuickSight scales to your user growth from tens to millions and is fully managed and requires no manual patching or software updates. With QuickSight's pay-per-session pricing model, you pay for what you use. And lastly, the rich set of APIs and SDKs allow tight integration with your application. Let's quickly discuss some of the best practices around building a Customer 360. Customer data provides much of the power of digitalization. It lets companies target advertising, customize products, predict behaviors, optimize processes, and measure results. For that reason, we recommend the organization approach customer data as an enterprise effort, not just marketing. Lay out foundation for your 360 in such a way that it lets you create a 360 view for key business entities. For example, it can be products and services, or devices, or location in addition to the customer. Let me share the importance of the fact by sharing a quick personal experience. I used to order most of my grocery online, even before the pandemic. The order with my previous vendor that ultimately became my last order had missing items. It was just one item according to the delivery person, but upon checking, there were a bunch of items missing. After 3 rounds of call with customer care, I was being told to order again. And surprisingly, each time I was given a different reason for missing items. I still get a lot of promotions and offers from them, but I never went back as I'm happy with the new retailer I'm ordering from. I was their loyal customers for 4 long years, giving them at least $500 worth of business every month. So what do you think happened? Well, this is where things went wrong. First, lack of transparency between consumer and the company. Second, huge disconnect between marketing and operations, clear signs of a fractured or incomplete Customer 360. And finally, retrospection. They never checked what events triggered user inactivity. So make sure the 360 you build helps you connect the dots. The second one is enable citizen data analysts to transform and cleanse data quickly. Democratize and operationalize insights from Customer 360 so that it's easy for users to do data exploration and consume insights. To be able to run analytics, build reports, or apply machine learning, you need to be sure the data you are using is clean and in the right format. That's a data preparation step that requires data analysts and data scientists to write custom code and do many manual activities. AWS Glue Data Brew is a new visual data preparation tool that makes it easy for data analysts and data scientists to clean and normalize data, to prepare it for analytics and machine learning. You can choose from over 250 pre-built transformations to automate data preparation tasks without the need to write any code. The third one is accelerate time to answer using federated query. The volume of data continues to grow, with most of it created and managed by enterprises. As more and more datasets come online, it's increasingly important to be able to pull information from combinations of them to present a more and complete picture of the data. Lakehouse architecture pattern that we discussed few slides back enables query federation and lets you combine insights from disparate data sources. The fourth one is use graph to future-proof finding hidden insights in a cookie-less world. Third-party cookies are a way for companies to track consumer habits across digital properties they don't own. Consumers are demanding more control over their online privacy, and by 2022, every web browser will block third-party cookies. Digital marketers will no longer have the data to refine their targeted advertisements. A first-party data foundation not only ensures accurate customer insights, effective real-time advertising, and better customer experience overall, it also helps companies with the data privacy regulations and changing consumer privacy demands. And last but not the least, embed governance from day one in your Customer 360 platform. Data governance is generally 80% people practice and 20% technology. It is a key enabler in operationalizing Customer 360 assets enterprise-wide. These 5 best practices that we discussed will help you build a solid foundation of Customer 360 that can evolve with time. And Dan, during his talk, stated the importance of these best practices as well. Now, in the end, let me walk you through the journey of building a Customer 360. Put customers at the heart of your strategy and work backwards from them. Map out important customer journeys, working closely with customers facing teams. Identify key touchpoints and prioritize both journey and touchpoints for maximum value. Start small, but the ones with the maximum impact. Based on the identified journeys and touchpoint, pick data sources just enough to cater to the requirements. Decide frequency of data carefully, as that matters a lot in Customer 360. Again, prioritize for maximum value. Build on a rock solid foundation that you can scale Customer 360 horizontally and vertically. Adopt decoupled architecture, use purpose-built components, focus on adding value to the core of your business rather than doing undifferentiated heavy lifting. Formulate governance frameworks and embed them in your platform from its inception. Do not just build the platform and expect users to start using it on their own. Operationalize it with different stakeholders, do internal roadshows, identify champions to promote it, and collect feedback. And finally, think of it as an evolution chain that will evolve over time. Social media and Internet of Things were not Customer 360 artifacts a few years back, but today they are. So keep adding value incrementally at each and every step that will ultimately benefit lines of business directly or indirectly, dealing with the end consumers and the end consumer themselves. To explore the learning paths, including digital training and instructor-led classes, visit aws.training. You can validate your skills with an AWS certification. I hope you enjoyed the session today. I look forward to seeing how best you can adapt what we discussed in the session and make best use of your data assets by building a Customer 360 using AWS purpose-built services and Lakehouse architecture pattern. Reach out to AWS if you want to discuss more. Remember to complete the survey to let us know what you think and how can we improve the event experience. With that, thank you for joining me today. My name is Vikas Omar. Enjoy the rest of the sessions.